Companies are clearly on a hiring spree for chief diversity officers. Less clear is whether they're willing to pay them and give them actual power. Seema Modi has that story. Seema.
John, chief diversity officers are high in demand, with job openings up 55% since early June, when the conversation around racial tensions and income inequality really took center stage. Now, a review of LinkedIn shows Illumina, Silicon Valley Bank, Levi Strauss are among the companies looking for a diversity head who can implement mentorship programs and recruit people of color for senior management roles. But turnover is high for chief diversity officers, and they're often underpaid. Data from Glassdoor shows individuals who inherit this role on average make $127,000. That's much less than other folks in the C-suite.
Chief diversity officers are underpaid, I think mainly because it's looked at as overhead and it's not looked at as a strategic position.
The other challenge is many CDOs don't have a seat in the boardroom. Here's what Kara Helander, Chief Inclusion and Diversity Officer for the Carlyle Group and a member of CNBC Workforce Executive Council, a leading network of C-level HR and inclusion officers, told CNBC.
For a Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer to be successful, they have to understand the business. They have to understand the strategy. They have to craft a strategy that aligns with the business, and they need to partner with leaders across the firm. They also need to partner with the board, so the board can help to really drive this across the firm.
So clearly a lot of room for improvement. Now, a year ago, Carlyle unveiled a firm-wide policy that there must be at least 2 diverse candidates in the recruiting process. And in light of recent events, they're having every employee undergo unconscious bias training. John?
Seema, I wonder if this chief diversity officer position is being often shoehorned in, because you've already got a CHRO, a chief human resource officer. Sometimes that position, the chief diversity officer, is under that. Sometimes it reports to the CEO. It doesn't seem to have a really clear place or kind of mission in a lot of organizations.
And a part of this story, John, we did interview a number of different former and current chief diversity officers who said the same. They many times lack that direct line of communication to the CFO or CEO. So often they're given a lot of tasks at hand to push for these diversity efforts, but they cannot enact change. So that seems to be a room for opportunity.
Right, and on that point, Seema and John, as you say, they seem to be shoehorned in sometimes. When I look at a lot of the private companies, it feels like chief diversity officers get put in once a company is already public, but with companies staying private for longer, sometimes that takes a little bit longer. So Seema, I wonder, was there any information on the private market, private companies?
Well, that will be one area to watch, Deidre. As you know, Goldman Sachs, effective in early July, made it a policy that going forward, the companies they take public must have either racial or gender diversity on the board of the company they take public. So perhaps that will change going forward. So clearly, there is a lot of room for growth here as we look at the diversity, not just at the entry level, but at the board level as well.
Yeah, I guess, Seema, eventually we'll see how much of this is window dressing. Seema Modi, thank you.